Very good evening, guys. I hope everyone is doing safe. Welcome to the 8th webisode today. Today we'll discuss on the financial literacy. We'll discuss on importance of financial literacy or acquiring financial skills right from a very young age. All right, and the session is going to be really interesting today. We have got a very prominent profile. Mr. Digvijay Singh is going to give us his insights on importance of acquiring financial literacy at a very young age. We'll wait for Mr. Digvijay for another couple of minutes, but meanwhile, let me introduce about Digvijay. I'll also introduce about Indian Angel Network today. So, Mr. Digvijay Singh, he is the current Chief Operating Officer at Indian Angel Network, and he's having an experience of about 20 years in leading companies across the sectors. Digvijay has continuously built sales or distribution model for many of the companies, and starting with offline product company Apollo Tires, he built the company's distribution organization in the newly formed state of Uttaranchal, which was earlier driven by the dealer network. While he built the business in an entrepreneurial model, it is now well entrenched in the state. And from tires to insurance, Digvijay helped build the distribution network of ICICI Lombard. The network included direct agency and dealer distribution models. Again, he led from the front and built the team which took this distribution network national. And while the startup ecosystem growing in India, Digvijay decided to swivel his career and joined Indian Angel Network as vice president, moving himself from a corporative executive to a player in the entrepreneurial world. And talking about Indian Angel Network, it is India's first and world's largest angel investor group with close to 500 investors from 11 countries, over 125 companies that have been funded and based in 7 countries across 17 sectors. Indian Angel Network is the top funder in India over a number of years and has been providing continuous returns to its investor base. Digvijay led deal origination nationally as well as while building the South India operations of Indian Angel Network. Within a year, Digvijay moved to the helm of Indian Angel Network as Chief Operating Officer. In addition to building the deal flow engine, he is now responsible for investor or member engagement, shortlisting and curation process, building robust processes and frameworks, portfolio management, and brand building. Digvijay is a management graduate and a hands-on business builder. And it's our pleasure to have Digvijay today and talking about talking about financial literacy and importance of acquiring financial literacy at a very young age. I think Digvijay sir has joined. Hello sir, very good evening. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good sir. Thank you so much. Very welcome to our webisode session of Metamorphosis. So today we have, thank you sir. So today we have more than 300 plus viewers. Can you hear us sir? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me also?
There is a little lag in the voice, sir, but I think it's going to be all right.
Okay. Okay, is it better now?
It is better, sir. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Sorry
Yes,
for getting a little late and me being in casuals because Saturday evening and sitting at home, so this has become dresses and dress codes don't matter anymore.
Yes. Agreed, sir. Agreed. Yes. Anyways, all our webisodes are very much informal. It is just a interactive chat with you. And today we have more than 300 plus viewers. We have certain students, school students, we have college students, we have certain aspiring entrepreneurs, we have parents, principals, and all watching our session live. And webisode sessions, we have started doing this for the past 2.5 months. We had about 7 speakers. We had certain real-time entrepreneurs coming in. We had a few senior corporates. We had few principals talking about certain topics. Everything revolved in the entrepreneurial space. And today, I have got many requests from the parents and also the principals because the students are talking about businesses, the students are talking about ideas. I think the students should be very much aware of the financial literacy also. That was one request that we have got. And today the entire session, I just wanted your insights on acquiring financial literacy at a very young age. That was the topic that we're all going to discuss. And the last 15 minutes of the session, we are going to open it up for the students to have the questions. But since this is an interactive sessions, guys, I mean, if at all you have any queries, just put it on the Q&A sessions, Q&A bots. I'm going to take up those questions and then take insights from Digvijay sir. All right.
We can do half an hour of maybe, our talk and then half an hour of Q&A, because I think that is more important of addressing questions.
Agreed, sir. Agreed. So from 6:30 onwards, we will take the queries from the students and also the parents. We can address, few of the questions, guys. So keep interacting with us. Keep posting your questions. I'm going to open up the channel to you all from 6:30 onwards. Thank you, sir. Firstly, again, welcome, sir. Before you have just joined, I've just introduced about you. I talked about your profile. I talked about Indian Angel Network. And let us begin the session with we will talk about your background earlier, that I was telling them how you have turned from the corporate world to entrepreneurial world. Talking about the financial literacy. So when did you gain this financial literacy, sir? I mean, financial literacy in the sense, I mean, during the school level or during your college level, how exposed were you with the entrepreneurial world?
To be honest, I come in from a background of, people who have been salaried employees. So to understand and to actually, talk about starting my own business or doing something in the entrepreneurial side was a huge challenge. Yes. Because, parents are as usual orthodox, and if at my time would have said that I want to start my own business and all, they would have gone in for a deep shock. So yeah, I guess I did a lot of reading, and that is what I would suggest, people who are interested to do, take up entrepreneurial, journeys and have the guts to do this in today's world. You have the opportunity to actually go ahead and do it. So a lot of these, newspapers and things you should pick up in the mornings and go and, read these financial expresses and things. And then, you get into a habit of, going through numbers and things.
Yes, sir. So, and, talking about again, the teenagers. So we have more than 150 school students, ranging from grade 6th and above. What all we should teach to this teenagers, sir, with respect to finance? I mean, do you think that there is certain things that they need to acquire right from the school level? It could be, say, talking about savings or current accounts, or say, at least, profit and loss. What is your take on that?
P&L and all these activities are already taught to us when it comes to accounting and, balancing. And if you are a commerce student, you pick it up from 11th and 12th. But generally, it should be more the responsibility of parents to see that extra edge in a child, wherein he is, cautious about. Sometimes it's inherent, and a little bit of risk-taking capacities, and usko badmash bol ke they leave it aside. That he's not like us. He's very weird, and that should not be the thing, because certain things in today's world is very different, and people are changing. A lot of opportunities are there for students, for parents to also understand that their world was different when it came to opportunities for them. And now with funding there and startups getting we have funded startups from class 12th failed person also. So it depends on a lot of things. We never had these opportunities earlier, but now we have huge lot of opportunities there.
Yes, sir. Agreed. And I mean, you strongly support that we need to teach, say, financial literacy. You already agreed that we're already teaching profit and loss statements and all. But when it is coming to the life skills, applying that to the life skills. Say the students are learning profit and loss, or the students are learning what is what is a savings account, what is current account and all. But how do you think that, the students can apply it in their life skills? So do you give them any, real-time examples so that they could practice this in their life skills also?
When you start doing, when you pick up a business or you start running a startup kind of a thing from college and things that daily businesses you run, and that is what live application is for, PNLs. PNLs is basically what is coming out and how you're planning and how you're executing and what is your profit and how do you plan it out. So we've had a lot of investments and a lot of passion and a lot of, good planning and tech and everything else, but few of our failures have been primarily because of lack of focus on finance from founders, and they're not giving that this section quite the weightage that they should have. Unplanned activities, unplanned expenditures, and not at school, college, but good funded startups fail because of them having not that clear-cut focus on finance and how to run the business. So the earlier you pick up this, it will be better for everyone to take this when you get funded or you run your own company without funding or whatever. In the sense, if you're trying to run business, finance is the key of the business.
Yes, sir. Yes.
The backbone. So a lot of startups take money and then they, finance and HR is one thing which they, usually hire outside in the beginning, and it doesn't work in the long run. Then it creates a lot of problems. We've seen a lot of failures there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree to that. Also, when a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs, they all come up with amazing ideas. At what stage do you think that, they need to think about financial aspects? Because, before starting the venture, say, for example, most of the startup guys, first they are very much into their idea. They first wanted to validate their idea. And then first they wanted to get some customers on board, get some early market traction. But at what stage you think that, they need to start working on the finances? Because see, currently, the college students or the school students, they have got amazing ideas. But when it comes to the finance, they all are again one steps or two steps behind, because they are completely unaware of the finances. In the long run, they do not know, how to run their companies. So how can they practice that? How can they, like you were telling that, they need to start thinking about the finances right from the first stage, but how can they practice that?
It is a situation wherein, when you start any business, when you're doing it in a very small, maybe a locality or your own college or school, I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs coming up with good ideas and then financially modeling karte waqt, that is where they find it very difficult. So I feel that, this is where one needs to, get into some kind of an incubation center and then start getting your financial modeling right. Because planning and everything is fine and execution becomes a challenge, and then if you're not aware of your numbers and how they're going to make a move, even your investors will make advantage of you then.
Yes.
So at the time of when are you thinking of taking your equity from outside, that is required. If I might answer it in a different way, is when you are having certain amount of paid customers on board and then you want to expand exponentially, that is the only time that you should take external money.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And according to the statistics, 76% of the Indians, they do not understand basic financial concepts. How can our education system improve to make these stats better? And your suggestions to the principals out here, on what all basics that they need to teach, because the schools, they do not have their in-house finance teachers there. So how can they get help from the external institutions or from any of these incubators, or say big groups like the Angel Network, Indian Angel Network, like that? How can
No,
these
we are open to taking interns, and I'm sure all other networks as well as these incubators are also wanting to have interns. It's a win-win situation for colleges and students who want to pick up, and they can just have instead of doing a course or wanting to do a project, you can just have it in your curriculum that you'll have to intern with maybe a month with one of the incubators or a startup or a financial institution which is into equity funding. That can be a good way of practically getting the right skills from in front of when you are in a situation where your founders, where you're working for, you get to see everything live and you be a part of the challenge. So I
Yeah,
think that
yeah. Okay.
internship can do something good for the students, as well as startups always looking for good hands to support them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think that's a very good model also, because the students are also very much need that. I mean, they all need that real-time exposures. I think these internship opportunities or the problem-solving opportunities will definitely, make them to think in a very good way. And sir, at Indian Angel Network, when you are funding any startups, what all skills that you observe in any entrepreneur? Do you observe their financial literacy skills also, or you are completely into the life skills of the entrepreneurs or the ideas?
No, it's a mix of everything. It depends on the team firstly, and we can't give only financial literacy the entire weightage, but it's a mix of passion, drive, the ideation of the idea, the problem, how well has the entrepreneur and the founding team members understood the problem, what is their solution, how different is it from what is already there in the market. Is it cheaper? Is it faster? Is it more tech driven? How will it lead to a faster or a better solution for the customers? Is what we look at. And then of course the fitment of the solution into the market. What usually it is a mix of all of these things, and then we choose. We get around 11,000 business plans in a year, and we select only 30 to 40 companies that we invest in. So there is, it's very easy to say that there is a lot of money. There is a lot of money, but there are, investors who are very, very choosy, and with so many startups coming, you have to be very, very, very clearly differentiated.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not that
So
easy.
yes, sir. Yes, it is not. It's not so easy to raise the funds. But when we are all watching the news, whether it could be your story news or we are watching so many news outside.
They will naturally show only the best part of it, na. So what I'm
Yes.
trying to tell you is that is the excitement that Invest India, Indian Angel Network, or any other ones. We will only show the good parts of it. We will not show what happened to the 10,800 people who had applied. So it's a very lonely journey to become an entrepreneur, and it's a very tough journey. So one who wants to get into entrepreneurship should be literally made of steel. You have
Yes.
to face it every day, every day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So again, you've been talking about the stats. Out of 11,000 startups or 11,000 business models, only 200 or 300 would get funded out of there. But rest of the startups, rest of the ideas that are there. So talking about the failures here, how do anyone overcome these kind of failures? Getting used to the failures right from the very first ventures. But there are a lot of teenagers here. For them, they've never experienced any failures. They'll be doing extraordinarily in their academics, and they are doing extraordinarily in their extracurricular activities. But when they are coming up with ideas and when they are actually presenting it to others, the failure is something that they are not never exposed to. So for them, what is your mantra that you wanted to give them, so that
Mantra, how can I have, you have to learn from failures, frankly speaking, and today's world is something that gives you enough chance. I have flunked my class 10th examinations, and I still have made it to this place. So I guess, you need to focus on what you want to be, and, once that drive comes in, you have to be very focused. You just can't get carried away. Be very, detail oriented in things that you want to do. It's your career. Don't get carried away with marketing and a lot of halla balla over there, because and facing failure with your startup or whatever, it is good. In fact, it makes you ready to bounce back and see what, how the world is. It's a jungle out there, and it's actually survival for the fittest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Already we have got one question from the audience. I think interesting question. He is Mr. Arjun. Arjun has asked, good evening, sir. How do you think money should be seen or explained with respect to a lot of parents having the view earning and talking about money in the young age will ruin the mentality of kids, as money is not everything, and won't encourage them to finish studies?
Of course, I totally agree with the parents over there, because once you are um, you know uh, equipped to take certain decisions, say for example MBA or CFA, CA, then later on when you come on to taking those decisions, you can take a more informed decision. You don't have to hire people with skills. You yourself can drive the right decisions to the core. So I think at a young age, don't you can experiment, but yes, you need to complete your education first. That is not any passe, because once you go back and this world is pretty unforgiving. So if you have not completed your education, you try out entrepreneurship before, it's even a higher risk that you're trying to take.
Yes, sir.
It's a must. You need to complete your education first.
Yes, agreed, sir. And again, talking about the entrepreneurial skills, the risk taking, and you've been talking about acquiring financial literacy, having some business world quotient. So, is there anywhere where we could enhance our business level, business world quotient right from the very young age? Apart from them coming up with ideas, but how do they actually go through the entire journey of being an entrepreneur without starting their business? Or do you suggest that let them start their business, let their parents incorporate the companies, let them go through the real time businesses, or you give them certain exercises like first you go through this, then once it is working you can start up your ventures? So is there any MVP or minimum viable products that you suggest the students to go through?
I think risking it and getting your parents' money involved is again something called dependency. I don't think so. You should get your parents to start funding on your startups and all. It should be totally from bootstrap. And if the idea and has the limit, if has the capacity, I'm sure it will be picked up and you will start generating revenues. I don't think so. Friends, family, fools' money is what we call them. Is you go out and say, okay, I've got an idea, please fund me. Parents will hit go bonkers over there. I don't think so. That's a very good thing. If you have an idea which can solve a huge problem for the society and overall for businesses, then you have to struggle and you get it the right way. Nothing is easy, and parents should not come in with their pots of money at that stage to spoil the children. You should ask them, okay, if it is good, then you go out and find your own investor, fend for yourself.
Yeah. And how seriously do you think that the investors are going to take in the teenagers, sir? I mean, if at all a student who is about, say, 17 years of age is having some good idea, so what is the chances that he or she is going to, get funded if the idea is good, or, once the checklist is crossed?
The, the thing over here is that, all financial companies which do equity investments, most of them corporates as well as angel networks are investing not at the ideation stage. That is the time that you go to incubator, get your idea to, come to a business model, then you have some kind of attraction and then only start approaching angel investors. So that is the way it is in India and abroad also. And US might be a little bit early, but yes, you very exceptional cases get their funding at an ideation stage, where individual angel investor picks that idea and he invests very early on them. But that's 1 in 1,000 chances, a very rare chance.
Yeah, agreed, sir. Agreed. And we have got a question from Preetham Reddy. Good evening, sir. What do you think is best for us teenagers? Investing in capital market or investing in a startup?
Don't ever invest in a startup. It's very high risk and very high gains. It's an alternate portfolio. Globally, 90% of the startups don't make it, and 10% make it. So if you have a capacity of, say, investing, students and all should stay away from investing into startups anyways. Don't invest into startups, and don't go in for that kind of a risk mitigation. You will not be able to handle the losses over there, because out of 10 startups, 2 of them give you a kicker, and you need to have a deep pocket to invest in startups and then create a portfolio of investing into them. Don't get into startup investments as such. It will take you some time to get into that level. don't take the bet because somebody has invested in OYO and you have heard that he's made 200 times and 300 times. That person has lost 200 and 300 times in other. It's a very high risk portfolio. Don't get into investments into startups at a very early age. Please don't.
Thank you. Thank you for the answer, sir. And we have a question from Raghav Mittal. Raghav has asked, good evening. Having already established that education is a must for getting into the business world, I would like to ask, to what extent do you think does the Institute of Education influence an individual to realize their goals?
I am the wrong person to comment over there because there is a lot of things that are pending and that can be handled in a much better way. But in Indian education system overall, change and questions like this at forums and create. I'm sure the system will change, but right now, we are a little away from trying to inbuild things from inside. It's a very fixed kind of a curriculum that we get, and we've been getting it, and our parents were the same, and our children were also getting the same curriculum. That way, yes, India education system is a little behind, but I'm sure things are changing.
Yes.
New subjects are coming in.
Yes, sir. And at Indian Angel Network, how much do you actually look at the founders' educational background, sir? I mean, if at all we are having IITs or IIM tags, so would it add any good corner to the investors that
It does, but it's not a deterrent. It always if it is a tick mark, then IIM and IIT, I'll not IIT and IIMs and the top institutes make a lot of difference, but it is not a deterrent. We have funded, like I said, Sagar Baumomos is a company that IIN has funded and field candidate. So exceptionally, aggressive and very focused and very, clear on his deliverables, and that is what he did, and we got very good returns from the company. So it is, again, I'll come back to you. It's not only your numbers and your financials and your institutions, but on the personality side also, and your clarity of how you're going to deliver makes a lot of difference at times.
Yes, yes, interesting, sir. And we have got one question. All right. So Mahek has asked, sir, if parents funding in the initial business is not a good idea, then how should teenagers initially test or implement and see the impact or result of our idea in the real life?
You can start it from a very low level. Maybe start it from your college, and then you pick up funding. If you get from your parents, that finance coming in easy is never a good idea for a businessman, because that's the toughest part for if you get it easy, then later on also when you start getting into real business and it will be very difficult for you to raise money, and then you will not know what is happening. And that part of raising money and that struggle itself is a journey of the entrepreneur, which you have to go through from colleges, from wherever you are starting, whichever idea and whichever community that you're trying to affect and giving a solution to. You make that idea, get your shoes dirty, go to the ground level, go and meet those people, see if your idea is giving them some kind of a solution, and if it is giving them some kind of a solution, you'll find one or two supporters over there. It's always better to get validation from outside family members and family, because they are the ones who spoil you, and it's not worth it, because once you go out to the market, you realize that okay, this is something which was done by my family, but it's not a real solution. People are not really willing to pay for it.
Yes. And there is a question from Josh. Josh has asked, sir, I'm a class 11 student and I was looking forward to do an internship, but even the famous platforms such as Internshala don't give internships to school students. Can you suggest a way for us to find internship at this age?
Internship in class 11th, again, I know, it becomes tough because there are certain rules and regulations to, why don't you just go ahead and, join, a business in a local startup, walk up to a startup's office and ask them for internship. I'm sure they'll, help you, and they'll give you work. I'm sure of that, because, if you go to formal channels and all, there can be a little bit of a difficulty because of certain rules and regulations. But yes, startups directly, why don't you just approach a startup which has got funded, or, if you are a person who wants to learn, then unfunded startups are also a very good place where you see a lot of things happening.
Okay.
If you're
And
wanting some kind of a, experience, yeah.
yes, sir. And also here, sir, I mean, a lot of students, they, wanted to implement, they wanted to, start their own companies. But again, there is something issues with the Company Act laws, because they're all, most of them, they're under 18 years of age. So for them, what is the best way to actually run their companies? I mean, do you think that we should wait for some time, let the traction comes in, or do you think that, they can, is there any way out that you suggest for, less
So
than
you
18
should
years?
wait for a traction. Na? Jab tak traction nahi aa raha, tab tak it doesn't make much. Till the time, whatever idea and businesses that you're trying to run, if there is no person who's buying it, it doesn't make any difference. There are thousands and thousands of ideas and thousands of solutions, but execution of the idea and someone wanting to pay for that is important. You have to be very clear on business principles and cores. So you just
Yes,
wait till the time there is traction, and if there is no traction, then customer is the boss. You have to be very clear of that. If someone is ready to pay for it, it's a good idea, and it's a good solution. If somebody is not ready to pay for it, be very clear, it's not a good idea.
yes, sir. Agreed. So we will take last five more questions, guys. So any questions that are there, you can already put in. So here we also have few corporates, that have joined the sessions, who are aspiring entrepreneurs who wants to, end their corporate life and again start their, own ventures. So for them, what are the things that you ask them to keep in mind when they are quitting their very safe and secure corporate life, and they're starting their own venture? What are the things that you
When I was working with Times of India, I still can't, believe that, people with such settled jobs and all can start. Kudos to these people who are, trying to live their dreams. But, I'll be very, very careful, because it's a dip which you'll have to take up a hit financially. And, no matter what it looks like, if you are, running, uh, working for a company and then trying to raise funds, that is not possible. Investors don't like people who are on two boats. So don't ever try to raise funds for any startup wherein, if you are still working in a company and then trying to, don't do that double shift. But yes, I seriously have my, best of luck ke alawa main kuch bol nahi sakta on this, because it's a huge risk that you're taking. But yeah, you be very careful and very clear when you make the jump.
yes.
I've seen a lot of failures at this level, so I'll not discourage anyone. But yeah, it's a very informed decision that you're taking. I'm sure you'll do it only when it is really, really there.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And we have a question from Abhishek. He's asking, did you take risks while investing in some startups and got huge profits? And if any failures, how did you deal with it? How did you deal the failures after investing in any of the startups?
I have invested in quite a few startups, and yes, seen around at Indian Angel Network, the startup failure ratio is pretty low, because the angel investors that we have are very, very, seasoned entrepreneurs themselves, like Chris Gopalakrishnan of Infosys, or, Saurabh Srivastava or Raman Roy. We have domain experts from 17 sectors, and angel investors spread across 23 countries. And these people are, first time entrepreneurs themselves who have made it big. So this becomes very, very, challenging for a startup to get funded after getting screened by these people. But still, we've had around 15% of our failures. And yes, you have to face them. That is what I was telling them at the beginning, that, financially, is financial discipline is one of the reasons where we saw, failures coming in. And secondly, certain things are not in the hands of investors, wherein, we saw failures coming in terms of, founders not getting along. a certain time, or market totally pivoting from the original product, and it was the solution of the startup that we had funded was not no more viable, and in one of the companies, government policies completely changed. So things are there. We have to just face it. There is no other way.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. And we have got, so during the pandemic time, what are the sectors that, what all business ideas that, you've been investing during this pandemic time? There is one question from Soham.
We invested down, in edutech. Edutech sector is one which we have focused more because of, everything going online. And that is one sector which has picked up. Then we went farm to folk also, is again, so that is one sector which again had picked up. And generally cyber security and things are still pretty.
Okay. Okay. And one last question I'm going to take again from Arjun. Arjun has asked, sir, what role do you think culture plays in financial ideologies that a lot of students is groomed with?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Sir, at what role do you think culture plays in financial ideologies? The culture, the business ethics or ethics and values, the culture that, that the students are groomed with, at what role do you think the culture plays in the financial ideologies?
Culture is basically the core of everything. Huh? So if you are, a South Indian, you will not bargain, but go in for quality of being a sales guy throughout. And if you're a North Indian, then you will bargain till the last rupee, and quality can be compromised on. So that is, culturally very, very known facts of South Indians and North Indians, that, they go for quality, and here North Metro, they will, compromise on anything if the price is less. So that is when you take this whole concept globally also, every country and every city has its own culture and people behind, and you have to adopt your solution accordingly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, sir. So I think any questions, guys, if at all you have, please write to us whenever Digvijay sir is available. I'll just, take his insights as well, and then we will share the answers or the insights with you. Once again, thank you so much for joining us, sir. I think it was a wonderful session. And
thank you. Diksha is also there. I think Diksha is there. Yeah, who's there?
Yes, also here.
Yeah. Thank you, Diksha. Thank you, Pawan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, so we have a lot of students, who have already gone through these ideas. And anyways, we will share a few of the ideas with you also. We'll keep, interacting, and we'll be needing your support. Thank you so much for joining the session, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes. All right, guys. So since Digvijay sir is little tight on time, he had to end this session for about just 35 minutes. But I think it was a very good interaction with, the Indian Angel Network Group. So they have invested in more than 500 plus startups. And the next week, I'm going to bring in the CTO of, 100x VC, which is a venture capital firm again. And he's going to talk about the technology. He's going to talk about, the financial aspects as well, and next session. And I will give a chance to few of you guys to directly present your ideas. So what I have understood was, so far, there was some good interaction that are happening with the speakers, but I'll give opportunity for 2 or 3 startups or 2 or 3 ideas that are already there. I'm going to give an opportunity to directly present and get the guests' insights then and there directly to you all. All right, I'm looking forward for the next session. Keep safe, and if at all you have any queries, or if at all you want any questions, please directly reach us out, and then we are going to pass it on to the speakers. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Stay safe. Looking forward to see you all in the next weekend. Thank you, guys. Thank you.